Discussions about the structure of the next farm bill continue across the country. Nebraska's congressional delegation held a listening session in Grand Island during the Nebraska State Fair to hear questions and comments on future legislation. Nebraska Extension Policy Specialist Brad Lubben took part in that conversation. We talked with him Wednesday at Husker Harvest Days and began by asking how the current economic environment is impacting the outlook for safety net programs like ag risk coverage and price loss coverage.
We certainly are seeing a lot of questions about how much support is in the Farm Bill, and it has been substantial. We have to recall the ARC program has paid out substantially on the 14 crop and the 15 crop, and it's actually still big on cash flow this fall. The 16 crop payments will be due in October, and they're still going to be substantial, if somewhat smaller than last year in total. But we have to also recognize that the 17 crop, it gets paid next year at this time, and it's very little under the ARC program, at least under current projections, and the 18 crop as well. So the ARC program has done exactly what we expected it to do. It helped us out as we came off of high prices. It's also worked itself down to the point that there's not much support left in the program.
The listening session that was in Grand Island recently, which you participated in, what do you think was the focus of that or the attention of that?
Well, clearly we know that there are ARC program issues, and there are ARC versus PLC. Agricultural risk coverage, the revenue program, versus PLC, the price loss coverage program. And the biggest issue may simply be when we have a new farm bill, or even if we end up extending the current bill, we're likely to have a new choice for producers in 2019 between those programs. As I noted, ARC has come down over time. That may mean that PLC, not by virtue of a program change, but by virtue of changing market conditions, PLC might become the bigger question going forward.
What was the focus of trade at that event?
Well, in addition to the focus on the safety net, producers reminded the Nebraska delegation, and as we have seen, that in addition to the safety net, we can't forget other issues, and trade is certainly at the top of that issue. We've got uncertainty about where we stand with trade policy and agreements and negotiations, so trade promotion becomes a critical piece of that as well, and that's part of the Farm Bill itself.
Two of the things that some of the groups highlighted were the Market Access Program and the Foreign Market Development Program. Can you explain what those are?
Well, as a portfolio, that set of trade promotion programs really gives tools, and it provides some funding to help U.S. organizations sell commodity and promote commodity overseas. And so coupled with, partnered with state government funding, partnered with commodity organization funding and industry funding, that helps to leverage dollars basically for promotion in international markets.
Has the crop insurance discussion evolved at all since we last talked?
Clearly crop insurance stays number one. Even for the discussion debate about ARC and PLC, we have to recognize that most farm groups are saying crop insurance is the number one priority. It's also the number one budget item in that farm portion of the Farm Bill. That also makes it the number one budget target. And so those proposals that have surfaced about cutting back on the program, well, we hear critics of the program charging for cuts. We hear supporters of the program arguing about how it's the most important element. So that has to be played out yet.
What's your level of comfort about the progress that are being made in discussions right now and whether or not this will be done on time?
We certainly have seen the debate and the discussion starting about what's desired, what's preferred for the next bill. The actual legislative activity beyond hearings is yet to really start. And the chances of making major inroads yet this fall seem pretty slim, but some discussion that leads to maybe real legislative action in the early 2018, we have a chance to get this done on time in September of 18.